Whew, okay, yeah. A Day to Remember. I have never heard of these guys before, though I'm not exactly sure why. They came into existence around the time I was getting into bands of their style. I guess they just got lost in the mix somewhere, and to be bluntly honest, A Day to Remember is ironically a pretty easy name to forget. But I've gotten a ton of requests to do this one, and now that there isn't anything hogging up my schedule, well not yet anyway, I decided to set aside some time for it. This album actually has a damn interesting story as to how it came into being, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to judge whether or not the music is good, and well, to put it lightly, it's discovering albums like this that really makes my job great. Well, I hesitate to call it a job, given that I don't get paid to do this, but I think you guys get my point here. I really didn't know what to expect walking into this, but I did not expect to fall this head over heels for the album. It's so damn compelling, and I'm not even 100% certain how to describe it. ADTR's sound can, I guess, be called a mix of metalcore, screamo, and pop punk, which when I first read that made me think the guy writing the band's Wikipedia page was drunk as fuck. But no, that's pretty much how I describe it, and it fucking works! The album starts off with a literal fuck yeah with the song City of Ocala and continues this energy into right back at it again, and sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. The first thing that struck me was Alex Shelnutt's drumming. This guy is absolutely stellar at keeping the pace. Given that a lot of the songs will switch between a standard poppier tone and a groovy thrash beat, this guy does a master job of making sure those transitions are seamless, and that is no easy task. What also knocked me off my seat was Jeremy McKinnon's vocals. He has a very guttural, chunky scream that gets a lot of action here, but also has a very pleasant and clean tenor when singing normally. Most of the songs showcase him switching between the styles too, and he does a flawless job of it. Seriously, this guy almost puts Matt Heafy to shame. Songs like Life Lessons Learned the Hard Way and Violence display that primal roar perfectly, and they make for excellent pit anthems, while Life at 11 and I Remember showcase the band's pop-punk and emo side supremely well as well. And for a band that has this much metalcore influence, they sure know how to do melody outstandingly well. Speaking of melody, the third thing that had me careening across my furniture was the acoustic songs. That's right, you heard me, they even had time to throw in some solid unplugged material so we could have something to wave our lighters to and fuck our significant others in the lavatory when we go to see them live. My personal favorite was End of Me, a sincere breakup track with some intense electric noodling mixed in with the choruses. But I'm Already Gone and I Surrender are also solid slow burns in their own right, the former even having a folksy sound to it. Perhaps it's what Mumford & Sons would sound like if they threw that fucking banjo player down a well. I mean, metalcore, pop-punk, screamo, folk, this album has more range than anything else I've heard this year. It's like the Ataris, except with more unbridled fury. It's like the Deftones, except with much sunnier melodies. It's like Sum 41, except it doesn't fucking suck. If you're the type that only drinks his hardcore as a straight shot, then some of the experimentation here might be a little frightening, but if you're even mildly curious about mixed drinks, you owe it to yourself to try this cocktail. Hell, I blacked out on it. Given what I'd read about the band's sound, I was expecting a very schizophrenic experience, but instead, I couldn't get enough of it. After finishing, I just had to spin it again. And this is a pretty long album too, but it's wonderful because it never feels its length. It's potato chip music. Once you pop, you can't stop, etc., etc. Don't be surprised if this cheeky little son of a bitch makes it into my top of the year list. To quote directly from the album itself, leave the bitch, please. I like the bitch. Common courtesy gets 5 bitches. Bitch! Out of 5.
Something is so off.
What'd you think?
That was awesome. Leave the bitch, please.
You like the bitch?
I've liked the